Uber driver was coughed on by a woman who even ripped off his mask.
My boyfriend taught me, don't let nobody play with you, smack out them. That's what I was taught.
What you gonna do? What
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been slacking on uploads for a while now, and I started diving into some uncharted territories in terms of the content I was making. I just wanted to try some new things out, talk about things that had more substance, instead of drama videos that everybody else is doing and that I would usually make. But ever since I started making the more fleshed out and detailed videos that I've been recently making related to true crime and a little mystery, a lot of you seem to love that kind of content and have shown massive support for each and every one of my uploads related to that stuff. But there is a large portion of you guys who missed the old videos that I used to make, the videos that had more of a comedic energy to it, the videos that weren't as serious and more lighthearted and casual, but still managed to get the point across. And that's what I think I want to go back to, minus the drama. So my new plan is to still do the highly researched and detailed true crime videos, but also make videos that are more casual and fun and, that aren't as serious, because to be quite honest, recently I've been getting pretty burnt out on talking about death and murder and anything related to that. Like behind the scenes, it can get pretty overwhelming, especially when you have to look into the nitty-gritty details of how these people died, when and why, and it just feels like I'm getting way too deep into this dark stuff that attracts a certain kind of negative energy that I don't want to be around 24/7. So for the time being, I'm just going to be trying to keep it to a bare minimum. And for those of you who specifically sub to my channel for that kind of content, you can always go ahead and go to my true crime playlist on my homepage, which I'll be trying to update weekly. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to be going about that, but over time that playlist will be full of videos that will hopefully satiate your true crime desires. And for the rest of you guys, which I assume is the majority of my subscribers, I'll be trying to make more content that's more fun and casual, content that's more community oriented, like live streams, posts from my Reddit and Discord community, maybe some gaming, I don't know, who knows. My main goal is just to be more active in my community that I've kind of been absent from. But anyway, now that I've clarified my current plans for the future, I think it's about time that we actually get into this thing. And this thing being the video. So let's do it. Now recently, as many of you most likely know, there was this girl who was trending all over the internet due to a very aggressive encounter that she had with her Uber driver. And not only was it her, but she was with a couple of her friends in the back of this guy's car, acting like they owned the thing with the way that they were acting. And during that altercation, one of the girls, who was in fact the loudest, go figure, had the audacity to get into the driver's face and cough on him. And then a few moments later, one of her friends says, "I got corona," before the original loudmouthed monster who coughed in his face proceeded to pull his mask off in the most disrespectful way possible. I mean, honestly, the day I saw this video, my temptation to backhand slap the hell out of all three of these clowns was at an all-time high, and I really don't know how that driver resisted the urge to combo slap all three of them back to back, because if it were me, as soon as I seen any sign of aggression, we could have been on the highway, a country road, in the middle of a forest. If it were me, I'm pulling over and dragging all three of these fools right out of my car. Like, they better find a way to hitchhike their way back into civilization, because I'm not dealing with that mess. I know. I'm cold. But now you guys must be wondering why. You must be confused as to why and how all of this started, because the average person, as we all know, even if they have a justified reason for not liking their Uber driver, would not go out of their way to do everything that all three of these You know what? I'm not gonna even call them that. Let me keep my composure and keep it professional for YouTube. You must be wondering why all three of these young ladies started verbally and physically assaulting this innocent Uber driver, who, based on official reports, it didn't do anything to deserve this. However, according to a local news journalist who investigated this story based in San Francisco, her Instagram page is Dion Lim TV. She said, Subhakar, which is the Uber driver, and I hope I'm saying his name right, is from Nepal and has been driving for Uber for 3 years. He told me he was picking up 3 women in the Bayview yesterday afternoon and noticed one did not have a mask on, and you should have your mask on. He asked one to put on a mask, and he says they started yelling racial slurs and taunting him, which is no surprise to me. Subkahar stops the car and says he asks the women to get out. They refused. So he pulls into a gas station so the woman without a mask can buy one. Oh, how nice of him. But I doubt that helped. She goes on to say, despite canceling their ride, the women did not get out. This video is from when they refused to leave, and Quote, they started to threaten me, he said, and taking off their masks and coughing and calling him names. One even tries to steal his phone. Eventually, the women open the door and get out of the car. Sabakar says he has dealt with this kind of behavior a lot during this time as a driver, but this is just next level. He has filed a police report and I confirmed details with police. Update, an Uber representative sent me a statement saying, quote, the behavior seen in the video is appalling. A rider no longer has access to Uber. And then she goes on to write another quote from Sabakar who says, quote, I don't feel like working right now. I'm really disturbed. So yeah, this all started over one of these girls not wearing a mask she should have had on from the moment she decided to step into someone else's car that wasn't hers. Like, I mean, even though vaccines exist and millions of people have been vaccinated so far and more are going to be pretty soon, does not mean you can start disregarding Uber's public safety policies for their drivers and riders. Like, they're there for obvious reasons, and one of those reasons is to keep transmission levels for the virus at a bare minimum when millions of people are in and out of these cars every single day. And the wild thing though is that this man was nice enough to go out of his original path to allow her to go ahead and buy a mask at a gas station, but she and her friends still made an issue out of it. Like, at this point, it just boils down to a lack of respect and common decency for people that she doesn't know. Now, I've seen a post that she posted to her own page talking about how her boyfriend taught her to assault people when she feels disrespected, and insinuated that if she had a weapon, most likely a gun, it would have been a completely different story.
And he lucky as hell I ain't have nothing on me on mamas, because if he would have played with me, bruh, it would have been a whole different story.
Yep, she's trash, and so is her boyfriend. She also said that most people she knows would have smacked out of that Uber driver or worse for trying to defend himself. Goes to show you what kind of people she obviously hangs around. And in that same video, she also tries to justify her actions by saying, all I did was take his mask off and cough a little bit, and goes on to say that she didn't even have corona, so at the end of the day, it wasn't as bad as it seemed. Like, after hearing that, I actually felt like my IQ levels were dropping to critical levels the longer this video went on. I mean, the mental gymnastics she must have gone through to try and justify any of this likely took up 90% of her brain power, leaving the other 10%, you know, for vital organs like her heart and brain and, you know, basic functions to keep this weirdo alive. Her train of thought is actually bizarre. She also briefly stated that this is why she takes Lyft and that she's finna sue Uber because they were in the wrong. Honestly, my head kind of hurts after watching this deluded ass girl talk for more than 60 seconds, rambling on about incoherent bullshit that makes no sense. And I want to briefly mention that this isn't the first time that something like this happened with her abusing her driver, because while doing some research for this video, I came across another video of her and her friends doing the same exact thing to another driver in Hawaii, minus the masks.
It's cold in here. You won't even cut the heater on. A little more. Cold in here. Dang.
No AC. No.
Cut it
We're
off.
paying. You're not. No. No.
We're paying
No.
you.
Go. Yeah. Okay.
You don't need to put both the windows down. Now you got me hella mad. What the are you doing?
Lee, I don't want to argue with you.
Don't touch me.
Why you mad?
I mean, clearly she and her clown crew have a thing for bullying men they know won't fight back. It's actually irritating, but you guys know how some people are. They will take advantage of you if they think you're weak. The good thing though that came out of all of this is that shortly after she posted that video and the video of her assaulting the Uber driver went viral, not only did Uber ban her, but so did the other ride-sharing service Lyft as well. They came out publicly saying, although this incident did not involve Lyft's platform, the unacceptable treatment of the driver in this video compelled us to permanently remove the rider from the Lyft community. Driving in a pandemic is not easy. Please wear a mask, respect one another, and be a good person, which is really good PR from Lyft. I applaud them. But yeah, she's now justifiably banned from the two largest ride-sharing services in the world, meaning that if she doesn't have her own car, she'll be forced to get around town by using public transportation, aka the bus. And if you guys know anything about American bus drivers, especially in big cities like Los Angeles, New York, or Houston, you know damn well that these bus drivers will not hesitate to body slam or uppercut any guy or girl who even starts looking at them the wrong way. Okay, maybe not to that extreme, but Countless videos I've seen on YouTube where bus drivers are whooping the asses of people who tried to hit them should be proof enough that they don't play. Now, for those of you who are curious, when I was doing some research for this video, I randomly came across her Instagram pages, and she has 3 different ones, which are Keeping Up with Foreign, Moneybags Foreign, and Foreign Beauty Bar. Yeah, I don't know what her obsession with being foreign is, considering that she most likely grew up down the block just like everybody else, but you know, a lot of girls these days want to feel like they're exotic when they're not. In any case though, on her IG pages, she does show off a lot of her wealth by posting pics of her posted up in cars she most likely doesn't own, bags she most likely took out a loan for, and posting pictures of money that she most likely got from the bank account that her rich parents created for her inheritance. And I only say this because you already know from all the evidence that we've already seen, she definitely is not intelligent enough to make that kind of money on her own. Unless it's from something like OnlyFans, since the effort for that is pretty damn low. Although I have found sources on the internet that pretty much proves that she gets a good portion of her money from being an escort girl. And if you don't know what an escort girl is or a escort service is, then you can research that on your own time. I mean, I can say it's pretty much like OnlyFans, but instead of your interactions being over the internet, escort girls do their dirt in person. And yes, it's definitely a lot more expensive. But yeah, I said my piece. You guys know how I feel. I don't think I need to explain myself any further. I just kind of wish that assholes like this didn't exist in society, but we all know that that's not possible. And you know what? What would the world be without people like her to balance out the good and evil? I think it would be pretty boring. You know, we need a good balance of all things. You know, yin and yang, the balance of all energies, the philosophy of Thanos. He said, what did he say? Perfectly balanced as all things should be. Now, I'm not talking about the erasure of half of all living creatures in the universe, but you know, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Anyway, be sure to follow me on Twitter and IG by using the links down below in the description. If you want to support me, you can do so by joining my Patreon page. I have 3 tiers, a whole lot of different perks, and you know, it's some pretty interesting stuff. So you should go on over there and check it out. All links will be down below in the description, like always. And aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to share all your thoughts, opinions, and controversial takes down below in the comment section. Like the video if you haven't already. And until next time, stay safe out there.